Yesterday, I was lucky enough to go climbing with one of my best friends. I go climbing with him a good amount, and despite the usual 45 to 50-minute trip that it would be to get there, which was extended 3 hours, we still made it there. And once we walk into the climbing gym, I have this idea in my head that the session is going to go great. Now, to say that the session went great might not be the full truth. I climbed not as good as I thought I would, to put it pretty bluntly. I climbs that I've done before that I thought were pretty easy weren't that easy that day. I was warming up on some B2s and I was like, whoa, why does this feel like I'm struggling a little bit, like I'm really having to think about what I'm doing here. And in this moment of failure, I feel like I've regressed, but yet I still didn't feel any anguish. I didn't not regret. I wasn't angry with the fact that I wasn't doing as good as I could have. Because I feel like when you take failure and you look at it as a negative instead of just a thing that happened, then it's really easy just to continue adding fuel on this fire that's obviously burning, right? If you think you're gonna have a great day at school, and then you walk in your science class and there's somehow a fire and you're first one in there and teacher's not in the room. Now, it'd be good to walk and go pull the fire alarm, right? That makes perfect sense. There's something wrong, and the best thing you could go do is remove yourself from the situation and try to help out. Well, you decide, you know what? I'm done with science class. I don't want to do no chemistry lab today. I don't want to do anything in this class. So you start adding to the fire. You open up the chemicals cabinet, grab as many chemicals that you can see. You see some acetone, you throw it on it. Big, huge flame sprout up, and then teacher walks in. She's freaking out at you, but you were just feeling the fire. Now, failure is the same thing. Failure is this idea that sparks in you, right? That you didn't perform or this thing didn't happen as you wanted it to, right? This idea that you made out in your head, not a definite thing. Nothing's definite till it happens, right? Because you can't change the past, but the future hasn't happened yet. You don't know what will happen. And you built this idea up in your head, right? And you built this huge log cabin. But you're in a California forest. That bad boy's gonna burn down. Should have made it out of stone. But when you're building it, stone's not available. Now, is there a fire in California in a California forest every single day? No. So your wood cabin, these ideas that you have in your head, they're going to survive a lot of days. But when it burns down, better pray you have insurance on it. Because if not, all your hard work goes towards nothing. If that's all that you were counting on and all your belongings were there, then it all goes for nothing, right? And it's really easy just to say that, if you're in that situation, then your life would be pointless after that because that's where all your personal belongings, that was your home, that was your everything. Well, all your belongings can't be in that log cabin because you are your own belonging. Like, with yourself, you can do almost anything. So why would you let the fact that your log cabin burned down prevent you from doing anything, right? If you still have the opportunity to continue living on, right? Then why let this thing that, yes, it had a detrimental impact on your life. Yes, it was devastating, but why let that ruin your life? Franz Kafka, he was really sure about this failure idea, right? He tried to embrace his failure, right? But for him, he was in a struggling battle, right? He really enjoyed his time with his friends, but then he would get back to his house at night, and he would see no one. He would have no experiences. He had no one around him, right? And that's the last thing he wanted. He found in those moments he only had himself, and he would reflect back upon himself. And when he would do that, and he would look inside, he would exfoliate all these failures or all these wrongs that have happened in his head and let those control him. So for him, he he had to embrace his failures. But he was very happy with his failures. And even though sometimes when he was in his room late at night, he would beat himself up over it, he had to embrace them and try to come to peace with them, because he said without failure, he'd be insane, right? How would you know what's good and what's bad if it hasn't happened to you, right? If I am in a bubble my whole life, and I just look and I see something bad happen to someone, but I've never gone through a similar experience, or I've never been taught anything, then I won't know if that's bad, right? We think that we have these good and bad, these ideas built into our brain before we're born, but there's no way we do. Everything is from learned experiences. And without any learned experiences, you wouldn't be a person, We'd all just be kind of like shades of each other, like one big huge hive mind, all with the same ideas, because we haven't ever experienced any hardship. And the lack of happiness is where the best ideas are made, right? The emptiness of, all right, pause for a second. The emptiness of success, right? Whether it is from lack of failure or just no success at all, drives one to be more passionate about whatever they're working on. Yes, you can let it control you. You can lay there in bed and just think about all your failures and think about how you've let the people around you down, how you've let yourself down. But once you've done it and you've pitied in your bed and you've cried and you've done whatever you want to do, you have to move on, and you just have to use it to fuel you. And yeah, like, anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. Like, subscribe, turn that notification bell on. Yeah.